Ba, ba, ba. Okay, hey, it's Gayle from Day Trips in Washington, and we are super lucky to be here with Sarah Hankey from Puget Sound Express whale watching, right?
Yeah, good afternoon from quarantine, everyone.
You know, last year I was lucky enough to go on a whale watching trip with you, and I think it was in March, and we were expecting to see gray whales, but we were surprised by a giant pod of orcas. And it was like one of the most magical experiences ever. And I'm so looking forward when I can come out with you guys again.
Yeah, well, we've talked about what's going on now because that was a year ago now for gray whales. Gray whales are March and April, and they start our year off every year because gray whales are the first to come back. Orcas are kind of hit and miss until you get into May, pretty much through December, but they do come in early, like the day you had. Right now, all of our grays are back. I saw a post from Cascadia Research that they have returned. We're sad we're not out there to see them. What that means is there's about 12 that come back to feed off of Everett, kind of that Delta area. And then along with the grays, a good friend of ours who lives on Whidbey has said that there's a transient family that has been there for the last 2 weeks as well. So we are really missing out because we would be seeing grays and transients right now. The transient family is the T46s, and that's important because it has the white calf that there was a bunch of media about last year.
Cool.
Yeah, and his name's Taluk, and it means moon because he's white. So everyone's just kind of bummed to be miss seeing him, but it's great that they're out there. And so yeah, that is what virtual whale watching would be now if I could show you pictures.
Okay, that's cool. It looks like Christopher is here, so let me get him in.
There we go.
Hey, nice.
Hey.
I wore a shirt too.
Mine says Puget Sound Express on it.
So does mine. Funny thing when you work for Puget Sound Express, Gayle, is you have clothing, all your clothing says Puget Sound Express.
My summer wardrobe all has the logo on it.
That's cool. And then how often do you make your family recipe of blueberry buckle?
Oh gosh. Is that our recipe?
It's your recipe. I just tried it this morning. And so I was able to make it. It looks really good. It tastes delicious. And it's not quite as good as I remember it being on the boat last year when I was out with you.
Huh. I mean, I've made thousands of them, but I haven't made any in a while.
I was over at my folks' house the other day, and she literally looked at me. She's like, who knew? Because we posted on our Facebook, who's had blueberry buckle, who wants the recipe. And she's like, I would have never guessed that when I was a child on Sunday and my grandma would make this and it was our treat, that it would be served on every tour that we offer. Like I just would never have guessed that it would become a thing. And it is, and it's great. It's from her side. So she was just ecstatic. Wendy, we're talking about blueberry buckle. How many times have you made blueberry buckle?
Oh my gosh. So many times that I can make it in my sleep.
Yeah.
Christopher and I like to joke that we want to have a blueberry buckle off sometime and see who can make the best one the fastest.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the best. Like, I feel like I did a pretty good job, but I made 6 cakes in 20 minutes once.
Oh, dang. That's all right.
I was pedal to the metal though. The kitchen wasn't looking good afterwards though.
I saw a video on Facebook not too long ago of these orcas coming right up to a dock on Whidbey Island. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, do you think they miss everybody? I mean, do you think that they're used to having the, people looking at them and the boats coming out and that they're wondering what's going on?
I was so happy for that little girl on the dock. Like, that is a memory she will have forever. I wish I was her. But, I hope so. I mean, for me, like our family business started in the mid 80s and, I was born in early 90s. So I grew up going out on the water with my dad that was babysitting and watching whales. So, I hope so. But, at the same time, I really hope that all marine mammals are enjoying the quiet in a way. It's not completely dead out there. There's still, commerce, shipping, tugboats, Navy, it's not quiet, but it is quieter.
Oh yeah.
There's one humpback that absolutely loves one of our boats, and I know that when we aren't out there, he's going to be depressed.
He knows that boat specifically. Yeah, like he will section out the boat specifically, and he rubs on it and he talks to it, and like we have underwater vocalizations of this whale. And if you have like a couple private boats and one of our boats, like he'll single our boat out and he literally hangs out with it in a very intimate setting almost every time they see it.
That's actually another kind of funny story that Christopher and I were leaving Port Townsend last year, and right off of Point Hudson, he saw a humpback. And so we went over to take a look at it, and it was just kind of laying on its back, and it had its pec fins up out of the water, and it was just frolicking around. And we figured out that it was Two Spot, the one that has the absolute, literally has a love affair with Saratoga, the boat that's out of Edmonds. Yeah. And we knew Saratoga was only about 10 minutes away. And so we told our passengers, we said, well, enjoy seeing the whale right now, because as soon as Saratoga gets here, Two Spot's going to go over and be hanging out with Saratoga. And I think all our passengers were kind of like, really? And sure enough, the minute, he could hear Saratoga coming, and the minute he saw it, he like did a 90-degree turn and went right over to Saratoga, and he just holds it hostage. Like, he swims around and checks it out and swims underneath it. And like Christopher was saying, he talks to it and he looks up at people and he blows, and it's amazing.
Tell us about you. What are you up to? So as a captain, what are you missing most right now? Just being out on the water?
Being on the water. Yeah, I've gone down to the boats to kind of see them a little bit. But since we've been on quarantine, I don't really think we've had more than like 4 days of rain. It's been really, really sunny. The weather's been really calm. It's been a couple of windy days, but just with this nice weather, like I'm really aching to be on the water again.
So do you want to just share a couple of your favorite whale tales?
Yeah. You go, Wendy.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. The T-46Bs are really a fun family. Actually, the T-46 family in general is one of my favorites. The matriarch of that family group was one of the last whales that was involved in a live capture in this area back in the 60s and 70s, when that was real. It was happening all the time. And she was freed, and she is now a great grandmother.
Great, yeah.
Her family group consists of, it's huge. It's the largest of all the family groups. And so we get to see them really regularly, and they're one of my favorites to see. And then the T-46Bs that we were just talking about in Holmes Harbor that have the little white gray whale is part of that family group. So last year, what was really fun is because this little white whale was so unusual, that family group was in the news. And we had quite a few passengers that came out on the boat with us and just wanted to see the white whale. And we saw them pretty frequently last year. So that was fun. I thought that was a really fun thing to be able to show and kind of talk about that family group. I like highlighting them. It's kind of a neat story.
I love it. Okay, Christopher, do you want to tell us some of your favorite whale tales?
I was thinking about it last night, just stories. One of my favorite stories is actually a humpback whale story. We see a lot of humpback whales, and I did a trip where it was in Deception Pass, underneath Deception Pass Bridge. And I don't know if you've been up to Deception Pass, but it's an extremely scenic area. Even without wildlife, it's an area we try to get to. And there was current running through there that was moving against the whale faster than he could swim. So he was in the pass and basically just staying still sort of just traveling against the current, and you could see them underwater. But we were able to get on the back side of it. We actually had another boat that was locating it. We were able to sneak kind of behind it, so we could watch the whale just kind of surfing underneath this like 10-mile-an-hour rapid current against this 50-foot animal. And it started breaching. It started jumping out of the water underneath Deception Pass Bridge, which was, I mean, for location, species, and just the sheer awe factor, it was probably one of the most stick-with-you moments I've ever experienced.
Big Mama, who's a well-known humpback, is back already.
Oh, she's here.
Oh, she is? Wow, that's awesome.
Gayle, can you tell we're addicted yet?
Yeah, it's awesome. I love, and that was the experience I had, was there's so much knowledge, and you know, you're so intimately connected with the whales out there. So for someone, you know, if it's their first time ever on a whale watching tour, they're going to learn so much. Or if they come every single year, I'm sure you have customers like that just keep coming back.
There is a customer who she still comes back out of Port Townsend, and she's like, are you the little girl that was serving us coffee cake all those years ago? And I said, yep, sure was.
Is there anything that you would like to say, you know, to people now while they're in quarantine, what they can do to learn more about orcas, or what they can do to help you and your family business, you know, stay afloat and keep it going until we're back up and running?
I mean, I can chime in. I would just say, you know, social media is so cool during this time. I mean, to be honest, normally I'm not a big social media person myself, but during this time, you know, we are trying to keep up with what is out there and, you know, posting information like that. And Orca Network is posting information like that. And PWWA, Pacific Whale Watch Association News, you know, has a lot of operators posting what they're seeing in different areas. And so just to, you know, if you love whales, if it's a joy for you or an interest for you, stay on top of it, because they're here. Even though we're not out there, that doesn't mean they're not out there. And so, and you know, we always say we're stewards in their environment, and it's so true. And we can still be stewards from afar. And everyone has great stories and intel to share. For supporting our family and our staff and helping us get back running and into our season, gift certificates are really most appreciated right now. And again, I mentioned before that those never expire, and you can do it for an amount or for a specific tour. So it's really flexible what you can purchase. And if you have any questions, you can call us, or of course our website, PugetSoundExpress.com.
Okay, well, I really appreciate all of your time, and it's good to see you again and meet you and try your famous blueberry buckle. In case, I guess I can apply for a job there now because I know how to make it.
You know how to make it.
Okay. Have a great weekend. We wish you all the best, and we will definitely be out with you just as soon as we possibly can.
I was going to say, Gayle, you should come out to Port Townsend and come out with me and Christopher this summer sometime.
Yeah, that would be super fun. I would love that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Thank you, Gayle.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.